All right, y'all. Welcome back. Another episode. Again, thank you for every like, every comment, every subscriber, every person that even gave it a listen. Certainly appreciate you. You all see the title. We're gonna start with narratives. I was listening to a interview. It was Kendra G, and I forget the other two, but let's just go Kendra G because she was the one that made the comment. She was just talking about men and this narrative, basically that black men specifically are serial impregnators, are apparently spreading disease. Women are doing so much better. The narrative of women can't find men on their level. That kind of deal. The same narratives that have been, disproven time and time again. I think that women don't know, though, that narrative has been disproved time and time again. Women not finding a man on their level. All right, look. There are more men that make over six figures than women that make over six figures. Specifically, there are more black men that make over six figures than black women that make over six figures. Black men make more individually and as a group than black women. Black men have more wealth individually and as a group than black women. Black men rather, are more incarcerated. Of course, black men are more targeted by law enforcement. Black men are obviously die quicker, and we get more time for similar crimes. These things are proven statistically and so on. What that means is that even though every metric of discrimination, of being targeted, of injustice, we lead in, we still manage to be more successful financially than our women. The narrative that a woman can't find a man on her level is a black woman can't find a black man on her level. It's just nonsense. What you're essentially saying is that you can't find a man on your level that likes you or that you like and he likes you. And that's fine. It's not to say that anybody is bad or anything. It's just that narrative is dangerous. It's irresponsible. And it's just untrue. Our women lead in certain STDs, lead in abortions, and lead in kids out of wedlock. You have whole culture. You have Jasmine Sullivan just won for her album Hotels. You have Sexual Liberation. You have Hot Girl Summer and the likes. Black men, 53% of black men don't have kids. It's around 4.2 million fathers, 9 million ADOS black men, and we lead in condom use. We lead in both childlessness and condom use. Meanwhile, on the other side, all those other things. I don't think that you could righteously, consciously say that the men are having more sex than the women. It's probably that the women are having more sex than the men, which suggests that women are making choices. And the problem that I have with the narrative that men are doing all of these horrible things and women are just victim to them is that it's dangerous, it's irresponsible, and it's just not true. What we need to start doing is telling more of the truth so that women can act accordingly. And it's not really up to men to do this, because this is what I find. Look, if I tell the truth, I'm going to get told that I hate women. And I just don't need that tag. I tell the truth. I make sure I try to tell it, get in and get out. But a lot of times you get tagged with, oh, you just hate black women. Well, tell me where I said black women are bad people. I don't believe black women are bad people. But what I do know is that the narratives that are being pushed that black men are doing something to you, it's just false. If you as a woman can't pick from the 53% of black men who don't have kids, well then that's your choice. Nobody's telling you what to do with your body, like, whatever. If you as a black woman can't find a man on your level that likes you, that you like, well then that's just what you did, like, whatever. And even this level thing, like, look, black women lead in student loan debt. Like, I don't know what level you think that is. It's not very high. At least not compared to what you think it is. Now, granted, I'm not saying that black men are just knocking it out the park, but we have made tangible improvements over the course of 40, 50 years that suggest that we're at least trying. There are no quality of life stats that suggest that black women are doing better than us. And look, it's not a competition. But the only reason that has to be brought up is because the narrative has been for the past 40 or 50 years that our women are doing so much better than us and leaving us behind. Where? I'm interested. Where? This narrative that we are somehow behind our women and our women are just leading in it's just not true. And as a boy, like, if you're hearing that as a boy, then what do you do with that? It's this perpetual thing, like, it's this perpetual guilt space that men have to exist in, whereas if we're making more than you, it's because of sexism and gender wage gap. But if we're not making more than you, then we need to get on your level, because it's like that's why, like I was just talking to my son, and he has track practice, and he's running, and the girls kind of run with the boys because it's running. It's not like it's wrestling or anything like that. And he gave me the impression that a girl was running next to him, and that he just didn't run faster than her. And I'm kind of like probing, and I'm like, so I'm like, hey, my man, run faster than her. She's not gonna like you better because you didn't run faster than her. You know what I'm saying? And I think that what we have in our race, especially since it's so gynocentric, is that we're not gonna blast through or blast past our women. But even in that, even in the injustice, the discrimination, the killing of black men, like, we still are more financially successful. We still have better outcomes, Like, I never understand this narrative, and why is it so important to uphold? You know what I mean? Like, you do, like, I don't think that women understand this. The more that narrative gets pushed, the more money you spend. These narratives are not for you. They're for Walmart. They're for Target. They're for CVS. They're not telling you all these narratives to benefit you. It's to benefit the economy. Like, stimulus checks is to stimulate the economy. They give you money, and they have you spend that money and more money that you didn't want to spend. If you're in saver mode because man, something might happen, then the economy shuts down. When they put you in perpetual consumer mode, then, you spend. And what they do time and time again is tell you you're doing better than what you're doing. You're doing better than your men. And you can't even do a Google search. And people go on the radio, like the Breakfast Club is a very big platform. And nobody said, well, ma'am, that's not true. Nobody just said, just a Google search. Just, black women lead in abortions, numeric and percentage. Black women lead in certain STDs. Black women lead in kids out of wedlock. Meanwhile, your men, 53% do not have kids. That's the most in America. To give you context, the American average is 40% for the men, a whole 13 points higher. We lead in childlessness. We lead in condom use. Now, if you're saying, well, tell these men to use condoms, we lead in it. So, like, you ain't got to tell us. We lead in condom use. Tell these men stop having so many kids. Well, we lead in childlessness. Ain't got to tell us. We lead the league. These men need to step up and get on a level and step. Like, you ain't got to tell us. We make more money than you. If I lead the league in scoring, and you're not leading the league in scoring, you can't tell me I need to score more. Let's say I'm not leading the league in scoring. Let's just say I score more than you. You can't tell me that I need to score more. You gotta shut the fuck up. These narratives are so unnecessary at a certain point. And what we're getting to is that our women are believing them so much that they're not, like, they're living out narratives that are not their truths. Like, you hear 20-year-old women saying this shit. It's like, really? So you go to college with just women. You go to Spelman. You go to an all-girl college. There's no dudes there. And it really, look, it doesn't bother me, right? Because I don't have trouble in the dating market. I'm alright. I'm good. You know, I'm good essentially. You know what I'm saying? I'm tall enough. I'm making enough money. I'm alright looking enough. I'm good. The problem is that the conversation doesn't benefit the boys because the boys stay in perpetual guilt mode, in perpetual shame mode. To where if you do better than a woman, well, it's you being misogynistic. If you do less than a woman, well, it's you being incompetent. Like, you gotta stop. This narrative ain't that important. Men are not doing anything to you. If you grown, which a black woman will tell you first, she is grown. I'm grown. Of course you're grown. You're grown. If you are grown, then your grown ass makes a decision and you take them grown ass outcomes, good or bad. I don't want to hear your mouth. Good or bad, you take the outcome. I want to hear these narratives about these lies. I know it's going to continue, but if you're around me, you got to shut the fuck up. It's just not the truth. It's not hatred for women. I think that lying to women shows hatred for women. It's called benevolent misogyny, whereas you just tell women what they want to hear because, you know, they can't handle the truth. It's called benevolent misogyny. New word. And I want you to understand that men who engage in that ain't on your side. So that if men even say this shit, that narrative is not for them. It's not for you. So I'm going to get on out of here, man. Continue to support, continue to like, continue to share, continue to listen. And Mike Perkins, I'm out.